Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Clinton Navigator Bowman of the Outerhaven Productions at www.theouterhaven.net. I am here with apparently my new favorite writer, ain't that prophetic, Matthew Rosenberg, who is responsible for such series as We Can Never Go Home, part of the Secret Wars universe, and a co-feature with the RZA and Ghostface Killah in 12 Reasons to Die, as well as a co-writer on Ghostface's last album, 36 Seasons, one of the greatest Ghostface albums I've ever had since Iron Man. How are you doing, Matt?
I'm doing good.
All right, so you're here at Special Edition New York City. Well, I forgot to mention, had to make sure to mention that. You're here promoting all of your series. You Can't Never Go Home, you know, the Marvel Secret Wars stuff, 12 Reasons to Die. Tell us a little bit more about 12 Reasons to Die, as I'm a huge hip-hop head and I love Ghostface Killah.
12 Reasons is a book I did with RZA and Ghostface and a ton of different artists. It's a companion piece to Ghost's record that he did with RZA and Adrian Young called 12 Reasons to Die. RZA put out the record, and the idea was he wanted it to be a story, and he wanted people to care about it and it to be a bigger story than just existed on the record. And so his people reached out to me to talk to me about doing a comic of it, and it's just a really cool universe that they created. And so the comic is the story of the record sort of fleshed out into a bigger world, which is it's two different stories that sort of come together. It's a crime story about Anthony Starks, who's a gangster in the 70s in Italy, and his rise to power and eventual fall. And then there's a horror story that's related about 12 haunted records that every time you play one of the records, you die. And these are connected. So that's what it is. There's like a ton of different artists on it. When I put it together, I said I wanted it to be like an old WuTang record where someone comes in for just 3 pages and does a little sequence, and that's your favorite part. Just like in the same way like ODB will appear on a track for 1 verse and it'll just be the hottest thing and you love it and you want to rewind it and play it. So, you know, I have like all these different amazing artists, Nate Powell and Ryan Kelly and Joel Jones and a ton of different people doing stuff. There's over 25 artists on it. So it's sort of a jam book with all these different people telling these 2 stories that come together.
Yeah, speaking of ODB, because you know one of my favorite songs from the WuTang Clan is 9 Milli Brothers. And you know, every time ODB gets on it, it's such a short verse, but it's so hype. It's like crazy. Everybody's like, oh my God. And I love, and again, also I love Ghostface. Iron Man is obviously undisputedly one of my favorite albums, simply because of Daytona 500, which is one of the craziest ever songs that mean nothing to the song, but it was one of the first anime music videos out there. Now, you said you co-wrote, when we were talking a little bit, co-wrote 36 Seasons, which was Ghostface's last album that came out before Better Tomorrow, which is Wu-Tang's collective album, which came out.
It came out the week before.
So they came out literally bang bang right after each other. How was it working with Tony Starks?
It's amazing. Tony, Ghost is the best. He's it's funny because what happened was that they all liked what I did with the comic and the story, and they wanted a new story that sort of went in a different direction. And so I had these ideas that I was talking to them about not a continuation, but its own thing. And they wanted me to sort of flesh out how it works and where it goes. And so the concept is mine. And then like, I just gave them this sort of bare bones concept of what 36 Seasons could be and what it would mean. And then it's amazing because you know, I went in the studio and watched Ghost like take these simple ideas I have and turn them into these songs with like, you know, Pharoah Monch and all these other rappers coming in and dropping verses. It's really kind of an awesome experience.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's one of the albums I recently just bought, and I love that album to death. I listen to that album on my phone all the time because, you know, it's well written and it's something. And I'm an old school hip hop head, as in like, I don't like the new stuff, but if it's a well-told out story, because I love storytelling and punchline rap and things like that, you know, that's where it comes. So Also, you also have other series. We could be talking about hip hop all day long, but you have other series such as We Can Never Go Home. You were telling myself and my cameraman about that. Tell the audience. Can you tell the audience what the premise behind We Can Never Go Home is?
Yeah, We Can Never Go Home is a story about two kids in the late '80s who have some strange abilities and get in some trouble and decide to go on the run and rob some people and live on the roads and live off their ill-gotten gains. Sort of a love letter to like Bonnie and Clyde and True Romance and stuff like that. Yeah, it's my new thing. It's doing really well, which is nice. And both the books, 12 Reasons to Die and We Can Never Go Home, are published by Black Mask, who are a new publisher and doing awesome stuff. And like, I know a lot of comic shops aren't carrying this stuff, and people keep asking me. So if you go to blackmaskstudios.com, you can buy all the stuff direct from them. So if you want to check out the 12 Reasons comics, they have them all for sale, and they'll mail them to your house, or you can buy the digital. And same for We Can Never Go Home.
All right. So, I mean, you also hooked up with Marvel.
Yes.
To do Secret Wars, to do a portion of the Secret Wars.
I did, yes.
What portion is it? And how did you feel when they actually came to you and asked, can you do this?
Okay, so I did the 10-page story in the first issue of Secret Wars Journal with an artist named Luca Pizzari, who's amazing. And my story is an X-Men and Moon Knight story. That's out. It came out last week, so it should still be in your comic shop now. And I'm a huge Marvel fan, have been my entire life. I grew up on Marvel. And so it was, I would say, one of the best moments of my life when they came and asked me to do the story. They pretty much told me I could do whatever I want, and I grew up on the X-Men and Moon Knight, and they're my favorites. And so I sent them an idea that was the X-Men and Moon Knight, and they were like, yeah, that's cool, do it. So it was actually like a dream come true to do that stuff. And it turned out, I'm really proud of it. It turned out real well, I think, and people really dug it. I've been hearing all weekend how people really liked it, so that's nice. And yeah, it's cool. Marvel has asked me to do, I'm doing an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. story coming up.
Beautiful. So
yeah, I'm hoping to do more stuff there. They've been amazing, so.
All right, so outside of all of that, You Can Never Go Home, 12 Reasons to Die, they've been out for a while.
Yeah.
And Secret Wars Journal has come out recently. Now, in terms of Kickstarter and Indiegogo and things like that, because we know that a lot of comic writers, artists have been really using that platform to jumpstart independent projects that they want to do. Have you ever given any consideration into joining the Kickstarter and Indiegogo ranks, or do you feel that you can self-publish without any problems or without any extra financial help?
No, I definitely couldn't self-publish. I'm broke as hell. Yeah, I mean, Kickstarter is an awesome outlet for creators, and it is nice because comic stores are amazing, but not everyone is going to go to a comic store, and not everybody has a comic store near them. And so it's nice to have an outlet that reaches new people on the internet and hopefully turns some of those people onto comics and gets them into comic shops. And you know, it's a way to have people participate in your work, and it's not just something you buy. It's not a simple transaction of they give you money. It's more than that, and you can get different levels and different tiers. I think Kickstarter is amazing. I just don't have it in a Kickstarter right now because I have a publisher. But I have Kickstarted stuff in the past, and I will in the future for sure.
Okay, now back to hip hop real quick before we end this. Do you think that you'll be working on? Do you think that there's a future for you as a writer in the hip hop industry if you ever choose to go that route? If more rappers want to kind of craft stories?
I mean, I'd do it. I love working with Ghost, and I love working with RZA. They were amazing. It's not something I'm pursuing, but if they wanted to reach out to me, I certainly wouldn't be against it. But I'm a comic writer first and foremost, so that's what I'm trying to do. But yeah, I mean, it was an amazing experience, so I certainly would again.
All right, so outlets where we can find you: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, even so much so because people do use that.
Me and my writing partner write under the name Ashcan Press, ASHCANPRESS. So it's ashcanpress.com. That's also a Tumblr. Facebook.com/ashcanpress and Twitter @ashcanpress.
All right, thank you very much for allowing me to interview you and you and having you impart so much knowledge. So much knowledge. I'm sitting there trying to find the words. I'm so impressed. This has been Matthew Rosenberg, guys. You'll love him. He's your new favorite writer, trust me. This is Clinton Navigator Bowman of the Outerhaven Productions. We'll be back next time. Peace.